Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again for the third straight day of looking at mono-coloured commanders from Tarkir Dragonstorm. And today it is Sidisi, Regent of the Mire. 1 and a black for a 1/3 zombie snake warrior, legendary creature. And it's basically birthing pod. Well, kind of, because you have to get the card back from your graveyard instead of your library. So, deathing pod? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, sacrifice a creature you control with mana value X other than Sidisi. Return target creature card with mana value X+1 from your graveyard to the battlefield. You can only do it as a sorcery, so it's not, yeah, it's there. And it's a creature, so it's a bit easier to kill than Birthing Pod was. But Sidisi is always fun. And a mono black Sidisi is something I don't think we've seen before, so I had to look at them. So here we go. Here's what today's deck looks like for mono black land. No planeswalkers today, but so we go straight into the creatures. First of which is Gravecaller. You cast this card from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. Yeah, okay then. Stitcher's Supplier is here to mill some cards into our graveyard for us. So we've got some bait to get going through with Sidisi. Alchemist's Assistant, Lifelink. Now, there's a few renew cards in here because it does do some interesting things. There's a renew mechanic from Tarkir. This one is 1 and a black, and you can exile it from your graveyard. You get to put a lifelink counter on a creature you control at sorcery speed. Golgari Thug comes in from, I can't remember which set it was now, but one of the sets from a while back. When it's put into the graveyard for play, put target creature card in your graveyard on top of your library, and you can dredge for it. So you can mill 4 cards and then put this back in your hand each turn if you want to. So it keeps filling your graveyard up. Millikin is also in it, just to give us a miller card and a bit of ramp. Mire Troiton is very nice with the Death Touch. It comes into battlefield. We put 2 cards from our library into our graveyard, and then build top 2 cards of our library into our graveyard, just saying gain a bit of life. But the Death Touch is nice. You have a nice good early blocker. Rot Curse Arashika. Now this one's interesting. It's a 2 mana 5/5 with trample. That's fine. But it has decayed. And this means when it can't block, and when it attacks at the end of combat, we sacrifice it, so it goes to the graveyard. However, it does have a renew ability that's very interesting because it gives you a way of destroying, taking out, well, you may take some damage, but it gives you a way of taking out annoying creatures because you can pay 2 black and X and put a decay counter on it of up to each of X target creatures. Now, this means if you're behind this in your graveyard and you've got enough mana, you can go through it all, put a decay counter on the biggest threats on the board, and if your opponents attack with them again, which they're going to because they can't block anymore, they die. The other upside is they can't block anymore. So it might be you have a big enough board and you've got to get through somehow. If you can get this to do the exile thing, give them all a decay counter so they can't block, you can still go in for an alpha strike if you want to. I think people are missing out on this card at the moment. I think it's quite good. Undead Butler is also in. It comes into play mill 3. When it dies, we can exile it and return a creature card from our graveyard to our hand. Avenger of the Fallen, Death Touch, Mobilize X, where X is the number of creature cards in our graveyard. A 2/4 for 3 mana that does this and gives us a whole load of warrior tokens each turn it attacks. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Aria, first of the Lockthrane's in. Black creatures enter, everyone loses 1, we gain 1. And then we can sack them off to draw cards. Gix, Yagamoth Praetor is also in. I quite like this. I haven't played Gix for a long time, I'll be honest. But whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay a life, and if they do, draw a card. People like drawing cards. People will play some life in commanders to draw cards, so, you know, maybe it keeps you a little bit safer. The Grey Slad, stroking the Entropic Decay is also in. Mill 4, and then as long as there's 4 more creature cards in our graveyard, the Grey Slad has Death Touch and Menace when it comes into play. It's a 4/1, it's easy to kill, but the Death Touch and Menace makes it a little bit harder when we get there. Morbid Opportunist gives us a way of getting a card draw every time one of our creatures dies. Night Blade Brigade also comes in. Another one, cheap Death Touch creature that mobilizes 1 when it attacks, and gives you the ability to surveil 1. So another way, a little sort of nudging your graveyard up a bit. Quasi Irreverent also comes in from Tarkir Dragonstorm. Flying Death Touch and Lifelink, and then we can do the renew trick with this to put a Flying Death Touch and Lifelink counter on another creature we control. Gixian Puppeteer. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 2 and you gain 2. May happen, but whenever it gets in Puppeteer dies, return another target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's really what it's here for. A little bit of reanimation, and there might be more. Pitless Plunderer gives us treasure tokens. Ravenous Cubicala just destroys a creature when it comes into play. The Scavenging Regent is a very nice 4 mana 4/4 dragon that's 1 in the black, has a ward ability as well as flying. The ward ability is discard a card, but Exude Toxin's even nicer. Black and X. Each non-dragon creature gets -X till the end of turn. Another way of you dealing with a board that's annoying you. Solemn Sim. We all know what Grey Merchant or Gary does. I'm not going to talk about them too much. Overlord of the Balemark just gives another way of milling things and eventually gets things back from our graveyard to our hand. Puppeteer Click does the whole. Enters the battlefield, put target creature card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste and exile. At the beginning of your end step, exile it. That's fine. We can go and grab something big out of someone else's graveyard and attack them with it. Sheldred just comes in. We know what Sheldred does this version. We know what they flip into with the true scriptures. So, yay. So Conrad the Grim is also in. Creature dies or creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or creature card leaves your graveyard. It deals 1 damage to each opponent. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Grave Titan for the zombies. Kukushko is just, we all know it's superly broken in Commander, so yeah, it's good. Massacre Worm helps us control the board. A Herobrant Overlord, just a little bit of devotion fun so we can get some 1/1 black harpy creatures. Sheldred, the Whispering One, came up with the random version. There you go, we'll have that one. That's fine. Just so we can do the whole everyone sacks one at the beginning of their upkeep and then we get to nick something from someone's graveyard. And because I'm in mono black, the Archon of Cruelty had to be here again. Sorry, just love this card. Always will do. Sorceries. We have a lot of reanimation stuff because we are using Sidisi to fill our graveyard up with creatures. We want to get some of them back if we can. So reanimate's a no-brainer. Unearth, I remembered about after it's played against me on stream the other night. So I'm glad they played it because it made me think of it when I was building Sidisi. Atrocious Experiment lets us mill 2, draw 2 and lose 2 life. So we'll go with that one. Tip the Scales is also in from the new commander sets for Tarkir Dragonstorm. Sack a creature. When you do, all creatures get -X/-X until the end of turn, where X is the sacrifice creature's toughness. Yeah. Sounds good to me. Damnation's Damnation. Dread Return. We all know what this does. And then another one of the new cards from the commander sets. Will of the Azban. Hopefully we'll play this when we have Sidisi in place. We can put any number of target opponents. Each sacrifice a creature with the greatest power amongst creatures they control. And then lose 3 life. And then we can return something from the graveyard to the battlefield. So a bit of a zombify effect. That's the next card down. Living Death, just for some fun, so we can just bring everything back that may be in the graveyard. Summon Undead comes in as well. Mill 3, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yep, 5 mana, I'll cope with that. Ever After does it, but does it twice, but creatures from our graveyard with no milling. Boneyard Parlay, also in. Exile up to 5 target creature cards from graveyards. You get 1 pile of them, and everyone else's, the other pile goes back to everyone's graveyard. Breach the Multiverse, because I'm in mono black and it's Breach the Multiverse, and yeah. Afterlife from the Loam is nice. Delve, 5 and triple black for it's 8 mana sorcery. For each player, choose up to 1 target creature card in that player's graveyard. You gain control. You get to put them all into play under your control, and they become zombies as well. And I'm still trying to get there. So Rise of the Dark Realms is back again. Sorry. 2 instants, nothing's particularly fancy. Corpse Churn, just so we can mill 3 and then return a creature card from our graveyard to our hand, coming in from Ikoria, and then dig up the body, mill 2, return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Artifacts are here. Elixir of Immortality lets us shuffle everything back in if our Sidisi train goes a bit pear-shaped. Then we've got Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Charcoal Diamond, Felwar Stone, Jet Medallion, all as ramp, along with Thought Vessel, Mindstone, Thought Vessel, and Throne of Eldraine. And then just to protect Sidisi, so we can do it on the turn, we comes into play if we need to, we've got Lightning Greaves. 6 enchantments help us out a little bit more. Agent of the Iron Throne. Whenever a creature or an artifact we control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. Bastion of Remembrance. Ooh. It does the whole let's drain when creatures we control die. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1, you gain 1. Cemetery Tampering just gives us a way to mill every turn if we need to. And then once we get 20 or more cards in our graveyard, we get to play whatever we exiled for free. Within range, it's also in as well. This enchantment enters, we get 2 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. And whenever we attack, each opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures attacking them. And Virtue of Persistent, a Lock, Threaten, Scorn, bit of target removal, and then nicking stuff from graveyards. And there is one card I specifically missed. The Sidisi Ceremony. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less. Okay, it's triple black. It's expensive, necropotence level. But whenever a creature you control enters, if we cast it, destroy that creature, and then you get a Zombie Druid token, a 2/2. So, you cast your creatures, they die, you get a zombie. You've got a 2/2, 0 mana thing there for Sidisi if we need it. Or you've just got a way of continuing making zombies if you want to and go down that route. I like it. I think it's a great card. Again, another card I don't think is seeing enough play at the moment, so I'm happy I've managed to slip it into a deck. 35 lands. It's going to be a little bit random, I'll be honest. The Arch, Barad-dûr, the legendary land, so we can amass some orcs. Bajuka Bajuka Bob, never heard of him. Bajuka Bog, I've heard of. So we can exile someone's graveyard. Both versions of the Kabbalah here, the Coffers and the Stronghold. We've also got Command Tower in. I've also got in the Crypt of Agadim because we are having a lot of black creature cards in our graveyard. And this gives us even more mana to sort them out. Exotic Gorge is a bit of a weird one. Oh, sorry. Bit of a yawn there. Apologies. Yes, we're probably not going to be able to produce black that often of it, but I needed a lot of different types of lands because of this card. Field of the Dead has hit the Game Changer list, as you're probably all aware now. If you aren't aware of it, please go back and look at the article the Wizards put out. I think it was the 22nd of April 2025 for the Game Changers. This is the first time Field of the Dead hit it. And yeah, we need lots of different lands in here to make sure we can start hitting the zombie tokens off this. Homeward Path again, purely because I'm afraid of people nicking my creatures. And then Morocco for the card draw. The Raceway, hopefully we can get to max speed and have this tapping for 2 colourless. The Landscape to go and find 2 swamps to, power. And then we've got Reliquary Tower, we've got Spymaster's Vault, which you all know and love and dread, I would guess by now, for the Connive ability. 18 swamps, Temple of the False God, nothing there, and then to final off the last land, Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, just so we can make sure that all the other lands produce our swamps, so they count for these guys. And that's it. That is my take on Sidisi, Regent of the Mire. Mono Black, Reverse Birthing Pod, yeah, okay then. I think it's going to be fun. I mean, it hurts if you get hit with something like Land of the Void, rest in peace. Someone else hits you with their Bajuka Bog. It's a pain. I realise that. But at the end of the day, sorry, I keep yawning. At the end of the day, I think it's worthwhile trying it out and going for it. So that's it. Yeah. If you like what you've seen, please hit the subscribe button. If you don't like what you've seen, can you leave me a comment and let me know why I'm going wrong, what you don't like about my decks? I'd really appreciate it. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the share button. Help all the things that help the YouTube algorithm out. If you want to see me play Sidisi, I'll undoubtedly play it on stream at some stage. There's a link down below to Twitch. You can come and give me a follow over there and come and watch me play the games out on MTGO when I stream. So that's it for now. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to go into a viewer requested deck tomorrow, and then if I get enough time, there'll be another updated dragon deck on Friday based on Tarkir Dragonstorm. So for now, have a good one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you very soon. Bye.